Hey, it's actually going to happen. We're really going to see some snow. Thanks so much for joining. Appreciate it. We're going to walk you through this snow system and some cold blasts that are coming up. Yes, we are going to see more of that pattern change that we talked about here late November, early December with some actual true cold. And that's going to start off with, hey, winter weather advisories, some winter storm warnings, watches in effect, real snowflakes. It's about time. It's late November. I mean, this is late for the first snow of the season, but it's going to come in a bang in a few spots. Poconos, Appalachians, yeah, some spots certainly will have the chance to see a few to several inches of snow. Probability of 6 inches here on the map, looking pretty decent in spots of the higher terrain. Right now, that snow system getting its act together. These low pressures are strengthening. A little bit of snow. It's fairly light across the Midwest, and then we got the rain coming in across portions of your Michigan and Ohio area. I want to show you a couple things on this map. It's pretty cool. So we'll zoom in here. There's your moderate rain across portions of the 23, 69, 96 corridor in Michigan. The rain showers pushing closer to the I-77 corridor in Ohio. You got the clouds out ahead of it to the west. And then I want to take you over across a very active west and look at this cool thing. That's a nice low pressure circulation, little satellite weather port, if you will. So that's cool for sure. How about the overall pattern? We've got this big anchor of big troughing across portions of the east. That's going to gradually build out and move away. By the time we get in early next week, it's going to be fairly warm for a chunk of next week, and that's going to put those 6 to 10 days a little bit on the milder side, but we'll get injections of cooler air here and there. And then look at all that cold air in Canada. This is where the pattern really starts to change because you get a lot of that pushed down further to the south, and that's going to start by the beginning of December. It's going to become pretty potent. Let me look at the chroma key side of things here. This is this evening. You can see that system to the west kind of winding down, showers off towards portions of the northeast and upstate New York. And then this system wraps in that cold air, and it's going to juxtapose itself across Michigan, connected by a trough. So you have this system that's going to start producing snow here, and then you have this guy that's moving on through just like this, and that dumps things through Chicago and Indy into Cincinnati a little bit. You get a little bit of that kind of mix closer to Cleveland, and it's northern PA in towards upstate New York. That's the most potent area because this low gets the energy transferred to it, and as it circulates around, that has the best chance for more in the way of true accumulating snowfall. You can see it redevelops again into your Friday and dumps the snow then into the Appalachians and West Virginia, and you get a little bit of that lake effect mix off the Great Lakes, Lake Erie, and then the system winds down as you go on in towards portions of the weekend. A little bit more action there in towards well away from any of you guys. See across the country as a whole another system develops Monday into Tuesday. It looks to be a rain system with a warm front. Warmer air is going to push in at that time. So that's not going to really be much of a big deal at all. How much snow are we looking at from this coming system? Well, there's going to be a widespread area of a ½ inch to a couple inches that are actually going to fall from the sky. And then some spots that are going to likely see a few to several inches. We talked about that already. Pittsburgh, this is very minor. Hardly anything's going to be sticking on pavement. Maybe the high terrain of the snow belt into northeast Ohio could pick up a couple inches briefly before some melting, but this is pretty localized. I mean, it's mainly up towards portions of upstate New York, but not into the valley areas. You see here, Albany area, Saratoga, different story. It's to the west. And that's the way it's going to generally be as you build out the rest of this. We'll zoom on out here, take a look further off towards the west. You can see portions of northern lower peninsula of Michigan, a little bit into the portions between Green Bay and Milwaukee, but away from the coast could pick up a few inches or so. So it just kind of depends. It's a fairly wet pattern coming up as well. We're talking about decently above average precipitation through the next 6 to 8 days, and then becoming a little bit drier by day 10 for sure. One of the other big components with this system is certainly going to be the wind. We're talking widespread gusts of 20 to 30 to 40 miles per hour with gusts in spots 50 to 60 miles per hour localized. And this is affecting a big area of the country, as you can see. So not too many people scathed from it. Those typical windy passes, windy areas near lakes. Yeah, you're going to be dealing with the worst of those wind conditions here over the next couple of days or so. Wind chill feels like temperatures will definitely be fairly notable as well in spots with a lot of 20s and 30s feels like temperatures. The occasional 40s and 50s will come back briefly, but hopefully you enjoyed the warmth because there's just not that much of it in the extended forecast for the most part. It's that time of year. You can see there a lot of chilly temperatures for the most part over the next week or so. So yeah, we do have a period of some warmer weather. Southeast is going to be very warm, and some of that ekes further off towards the north in that 6 to 10 day. But once you exit after Thanksgiving, that big area of cold across portions of the northern plains into the northwest comes east, and that's what settles on in. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you're going to have a wonderful time finally maybe putting on the equipment and doing a little salting. Maybe for a couple of you plowing. I know it's not much, but times are changing. We're getting to more cold and snow chances coming up.